Shalom, 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 shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Wa, Kadash Rakah. Shalom, shalom, shalom. And his brother Abiy'ezer, Elijah Israel, here representing the FOH, Fire on the Highways Ministry on the 11th hour, bringing you the conclusion of how it is to be a minister of the new covenant, as well as showing you and proving to you that you are covered by the blood of the Lamb. Greetings and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Peace and blessings unto the beautiful one-third. And again, as we like to make it known, it's all about the kingdom. Going straight to the point when it comes down to, again, the Book of Obadiah, chapter 1. Mind you, this is part 2. So we're going to start from the very beginning, okay? And if you new and you catch this, please subscribe, like, share, comment, and also if you could, Baba Kashaw, go back into the channel and watch part 1 just to catch up, okay? So this is the Book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 1. And it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus speaketh the Lord. Just speak the Lord God concerning Edom. All right. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is amongst the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, that thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. So we know this is Esau. We know this is the Caucasians. We know this is the Caucasus Mountains. We know this is the Caucasus Mountains in the European regions. Okay, in the region of Europe, whose habitation is high. Also Mount Sinai or Mount Seir. Okay, whose habitation is high. Thou hast said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Okay, so we already know that's a reference. That's a reference or a metaphor towards Lucifer. So those that are king of pride. So that's also Leviathan. Okay, the spirit of Leviathan, the prideful spirit that has been upon the people who created the Tower of Babel. All right. Through thou exalt thyself as an eagle. Okay, look at the back of your dollar bill. Nothing new is under the sun. Okay. Though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars. Okay. That has so many that could have so many different meanings, but that's for another time. Thence will I give thee down, saith the Lord. If thieves come to thee, okay, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen? Still they had enough. Till they had enough. If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? All right, I'm gonna start verse 5 all over again. Salakia. If thieves come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers come to thee, would they not leave some grapes? How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men that they confederacy. A confederacy is it's like an agreement. Okay, so basically, what the Lord is speaking in these matters is how the nation of Esau had spent the remainder of their whole entire existence conquering and pillaging, rob, rape, and murder. which is both a physical and a spiritual injustice towards not only the nation of Israel, but damn near the whole entire parts of the world. There's a lot of unfairness because of the level of greed and political power that they yearn for, because they subconsciously desire to have what we have. According to when you read the Bible, Esau believed that he's the one with the birthright, not understanding that the birthright actually goes to Jacob. Okay, so their confederacy amongst the United Nations is again goes straight back to the book of Psalms 83 or 82. Salaki, let me get that book of Psalms, chapter 83, and we're just gonna go straight to the point. Please read these chapters yourself. Don't be afraid. Read the chapters yourself, okay? All right, brothers and sisters, but watch this. They have taken, all right, so the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel. Hold on. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. What? Against thy hidden ones. Against what? Against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. From what? From being a nation. That the name of Israel, may be no more in remembrance. So remember, this is all based off of prophecy. If you look at the black Hispanics and Native Americans history before, during, and after slavery, it matches up what the scriptures is speaking about. Just so we can go back to these scriptures today and see where the Lord stood at and how his word is everlasting. That not even Esau can fight up against it. Why do you think they keep trying to make endless translations? Just so they can start some type of confusion. But the whole entire time, each Bible in each churches is literally our history book. It's our book. Also, on a side note, you also, according to prophecy, you also got the book of Baruch, chapter 2 and verse 30. How the majority of the people is going to now remember who they are during the latter times, during the last days. But this is where, like I told you, the United Nations from the first video, like I told you, the left-handed council, the evil, wicked council, Psalms chapter 1. This is where the left-hand spirits and their principalities stood at, being up against the princes of powers, who is the saints, the children of Israel. Okay? They said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation. So they did everything that they had to do. Took away our book, killed the majority of men, raped and put fear into the women, killed some of the children, and whatever children is remaining, they told the mothers and the fathers and told them to lie to their children. By 4 generations deep, they're not going to know who they are. The great grandkids and the great grandkids that will have kids, they will no longer remember themselves as Hebrew Israelites. They will be known as black bastards, niggers, colored. Negroes, so on and so forth. All these different names, which is Deuteronomy 28. All these different names, all these proverbs and bywords, but never our true original name. Why? Because we've been cut off from our what? Our power. Because of our what? Our sin. So what did these United Nations did? What did Amalek said? What did Ishmael said? What did the Hamites said? What did the Edomites said all together as a unity? They said what? They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They are what? Confederate against thee. So who is confederate against us? Who came in agreements against us? The tabernacles. The tabernacles are the tents or the dwelling, okay, of Edom, Idomia, Caucasians, and the Ishmaelites, So we all understand and remember the transatlantic slave trade of, I believe, when it came down to the Arabs selling us to slavery. Like, come on, why do you think Dubai is so rich the way they are? The same way how Esau is living off of the benefit of slavery, you don't think that the Ishmaelites over at Dubai is doing the same thing? Again, this is end time prophecy. All right, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, Moab, the so-called Asians, and the Hagarenes. And there's just again, if you keep reading, there's more people you can find out about, right? Of Gebal, Ammon, and Amalek. You know what I'm saying? Those are the what? The fake Jews, the fake Jewish people, okay? And the Philistines, and the inhabitants of Tyre. You know what I'm saying? That's all the Cushites and the Canaanites, okay? So again, read these yourselves. Read the book of Judith. I believe that's also chapter 8, if I'm not mistaken. Either chapter 8 or chapter 5 in the Apocrypha. Where it actually, and that right there actually speaks about King Abiy'ezer. Let it be the Lord's will. I'm gonna show you that on where they stood at. As long as we are in sin, they can attack. If we don't, okay. But let's keep going. Back to Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All of the men of thy confederacy have brought thee unto the border. So remember that Esau is the border of wickedness. Okay? The men that were at peace. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. So this is coming from a place of how the skirts of Babylon will be lifted up and be exposed. Now Babylon is going to be fighting up against the beast, and the beast is going to be fighting up against Babylon. So remember, remember in today's society, as we can see in today's politics, that Korea never really got along with America for real, but for some reason they all was on the same accord when it comes down to our damnation. So long story short, regardless, you see how the beast is going to be teaming up against the horde. Everybody is not messing with America anymore because how deceitful America was. Now they're going to deceive America. All right. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee unto the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee, that they eat thy bread and have laid a wound under thee. Had what laid a wound under thee? Had what had laid a wound under thee? That sound like how it sound like what happened years ago when Rome got destroyed. That was the wound, the fatal wound when Rome got destroyed, which was the first spiritual Babylon. But now the new spiritual Babylon, which is America, through the Vatican Church, the United Nations had rose back up, through the Vatican Church, because they all have something to do with what? Greed and money. Making money off of those that is of the poor and the middle class. So they can enjoy the fruits of today's kingdom through the left hand perspective, and not indulging in the righteousness of the Most High. Okay, all these is end time prophecies. The Lord is going to destroy Esau, and as he's destroying Esau, a lot of the nation of Israel is going to get the backhand of it as well, because a lot of our nation is indulging in an exact same level of wickedness as Esau, enjoying the liberties of their flesh that Esau, well, really mostly Satan, had introduced them to, drinking of that wine and biting off of that apple of Babylon, which is the way they live. Men loving darkness. All the men have of that confederacy have brought thee unto the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. That have they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him. There's what? No understanding in him. There's no wisdom dwelling within his malicious soul. Okay? Shall I not in that day, saith the Lord, even destroy the wise men out of Edom. Okay? So in that day of vengeance, in that day of Esau's destruction, he's going to destroy each and every single person who have it for themselves to be up against the Lord, spiritually. All right. And understanding out of the mouth of Esau. So everything that Esau stood at, in his ways of life, in his ways of living. And thy mighty men, O Timon. So Timon was one of the first dukes in Mount Seir, I believe. So again, don't think that Esau, Timon is one of Esau's either grandsons, I believe, either sons or grandsons, the first dukes. Don't believe that Timon don't have descendants. Timon, 9 times out of 10, Timon has a bunch of descendants. So when it comes down to the mighty men, when it comes down to the dukes, those that could be in higher positions today, all the tabernacles of Edom is going to be brought down. All the tabernacles of Ishmael is going to be brought down. And those are the Sabarabian royals. So again, A lot of people, again, the Lord is going to expose a lot of these things, and it's going to come to a point that y'all going to peep. Hey, yo, damn, we really the real chosen people, because everybody had just been plotting on us for no reason. Well, there's actually a very good reason. They want to rule. The Book of Obadiah, chapter 1, and verse 9. And and thy mighty men, O Tema, shall be dismayed, to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. Maybe what? Cut off by slaughter. Maybe what? Cut off by slaughter. You see what I'm saying? The Caucasians, Esau, the higher ups, they're going to be slain, and they're going to be slain. And there is going to be no repentance for the wicked. Okay. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. For the what? For the violence against thy brother Jacob. For the what? For thy violence against thy brother Jacob. So that's the perpetual hatred that Esau had for Jacob, that had trickled down from the loins of Esau into his children, and it carried out throughout generations, even unto us. Okay? All right. All right. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Verse 11. And in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates, and the cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them. So it's going to be a time where, again, Esau is going to be desolate. And as Esau, in the same way, what happened, the same way how Esau had did us dirty, not only that, we going to do Esau dirty, as far as those that was indulging themselves in wickedness. Talk about as far as the heathens, not the Gentiles, but as far as the heathens are concerned, they gonna be dealt with how we got dealt with. God is not mocked. We will reap what we sow. You will reap what you sow. Okay. And in that day, in that area of time, that thou stoodest on the other side, and in that day strangers carried away captive his forces, foreigners into his gates. Also, foreigners enter into his gates. So that sounds like World War III. That sounds like World War III. Foreigners had entered inside his gates. That's funny, because I had a dream one time about that. I had a dream how soldiers was infiltrating inside America, and they was causing war from the inside out. And it comes to find out, it was a reflection of a spiritual warfare of what's going on that's within the heavens. And it's just so funny how all of these immigrants are coming, into America. You see what I'm saying? So the foreigners entered into his gates and have cast lots upon Jerusalem, had caused lots upon Jerusalem. I could be wrong, but I remember you heard that Donald Trump was like, uh, they're cutting away black jobs, but even thou wast one of them. Verse 12. But thou shouldst not have looked on the day of thy brother. So He's speaking in a place of on where Esau has stood at against Jacob. He said, "Thou should have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he hath became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction." Of what? Or the day of their destruction. So remember, this is how the other nations like to get at us. Sin is our kryptonite. All right. Keep it in the Lord's prayer and the Lord's will. I will show you that in the book of Judith. All right. Neither shalt thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. So it is in the law where when somebody getting a punishment, you're not supposed to laugh. You're not supposed to laugh, or you're not supposed to intrude when somebody is getting a judgment from God. All right. Verse 13. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of thy people in the day of their calamity. Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his 1 and verse 15, and let it be the Lord's will. I will cover more of entire prophecy, Lord's willing. Okay. All right. The day of the Lord, and the future. So verse 15, it says, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathens. So upon all the nations that choose not to serve God. In fact, they live in blasphemous lifestyle. Even those that is of our nations that is living like the heathens and behaving and thinking and just being like the heathens. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto you. Thy reward shall return upon thine head. Or what? Upon thy head. God is not mocked. You will reap what you sow. So the things of where they stood at against God, that's going to be their measurement. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, as what had ye had drunk upon my holy mountain. So this is the whore exalting herself, drinking the blood of the saints. Okay? As ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathens drink continuously. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. Verse 17, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Their what? Possess their possessions. There shall what? Possess their possessions. So it's already coming from a place of understanding that there is a transitioning of power. As the global elites is being thrown down and being destroyed, the Lord is rising up his hopeful elect. The hopeful elect is where these men, these 144 kings and priests, on where they stand at, and not only giving hope to the flock, but also giving hope to the whole entire world, as they're following in the footsteps of Christ, because Christ is that hope. Christ is that hope. His blood is what's covering everybody from damnation. So with that, I'm sorry I was pressed for time, but I had to cover the rest of this. So with that, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Wa Kadash Rakah. Shalom, everybody. Shalom.